Hey, what's up guys? Thomas Edwards, creator and author of the upcoming book of The One Up Effect, here to share with you the 4 points where fear can really influence your life and what are the solutions to overcome it. So I spent some time really thinking about fear. I've personally have spent a lot of time inside my own fear, becoming more intimate with it, getting to know how it shows up, where it shows up, and how it impacts my life. And through this, I've been able to really look at moments in my life where decisions that I made were probably not the best and rooted in fear. And I decided to go a little bit deeper and to find out, well, where did the fear show up? And how can I overcome that fear if that situation or a similar event were to show up? So for me to be able to figure this out, I went back and I kind of dialed in what happens when I experience what is known as a triggering event. Consider a triggered event something that changes your emotional state. So let's say you're kind of living your life, ho-hum, status quo, if you will, and all of a sudden something happens. And in that moment, your emotional state changes. It could change to anger, guilt, blame, shame, fear, hunger, frustration, loneliness, or it could be happiness, joy, ecstasy, love, acceptance, curiosity, wonder. So the moment those things happen, there's a cycle that happens. And this cycle happens, if I could probably guess, hundreds of thousands of times throughout your day. And so let's break down each point. So you have the triggered event that may happen, and then you have a choice. And this choice is basically, well, how do you respond to this particular event? Then there comes agency, right? The agency means action. What do you actually do once the choice is made? From there is feedback that is given once that action is done. And then at that point, I originally called it confidence, which comes as a result of taking action, but more importantly, it could be acceptance, right? Like the event happened, now the cycle is now complete, you've come into acceptance, maybe not, and then you move on to the next triggered event. And in between each of these milestones, event, choice, agency, feedback, and acceptance, there is a space that exists in between these milestones. And this is where fear can creep up and influence these milestones in the direction in which your life can go. Well, what are the things that you can use to overcome that fear, to help keep that fear limited in influencing the next milestone, whether it's choice, agency, how you receive and interpret feedback, and of course, confidence and acceptance. So in between the triggered event and choice, there is fear. Now, depending on what this event is will determine typically what you choose. This event may be something you've experienced before, and this is where your experience comes into play. If you've experienced before, then typically you have a better idea as to what choice to make regarding this triggered event. For some of you, that when you have enough experience, that can lean towards wisdom. Now, for some of you who may not have experienced this event before, wisdom can still be the underlying solution to overcoming that fear. You can trust your intuition. You can trust your knowing that this choice that you're about to make is the best choice for you in that particular given time. And it doesn't need to come from fear, survival, or scarcity. So once this choice is made, now it's time to get to agency. Now, you might be afraid to take action here. So what comes into play here? Well, the solution to this particular fear is knowledge. You may have a know-how of what action to take and how to take that action. Sometimes we don't have that. And so once again, wisdom and intuition come into play here that can trust that you are already equipped with the know-how of taking that action. Now you've taken that action and you're about to receive feedback. Now there's an in-between here that fear can come in again. And here's the thing, this part, there's not a lot of control over this. There is the known, which is what you know based on experience and wisdom and knowledge. But oftentimes it's unknown because typically this triggered event is a new experience and you are a new person experiencing this event. No matter how many times you experience this event in the past, you are a new version of yourself that's experiencing this for the first time. And so this will still always bring up a little bit of that unknown, which is where fear loves to creep its ugly head. In that moment, the focus, the solution here, if there is one, is to really key in on what it is that you already know based on previous experiences, based on your wisdom, based on your intuition. Once that feedback does come in, there will be a little bit of fear. Was this feedback appropriate? Did it harm me? Did it harm others? Am I good enough? A lot of this comes into play. And so the solution here that I found is having perspective, being able to see all sides. If there's other people involved in this experience that you're having that's causing the triggered event, it's important to maintain the perspective of every party, including your own and including others, and basically coagulating, if that's the appropriate word here, on what is the best perspective that you can take moving forward that is going to ultimately help you live a better life. When you're able to take that perspective, key in on it, and use it in a positive way, ultimately that leads to greater confidence, but more importantly, acceptance of that particular event. Now, one of the best ways that I've found to really overcome a lot of fear that can creep up in our lives is to dial it back and see where this fear comes from. And when you're able to see where this fear comes from, then these events no longer become the triggered events that can negatively impact our lives, but can be triggered events that can ultimately help our lives and help us become better people. And there is a proprietary tool that I use, that I help my clients use, that's called the Power Up Journal, that allows you to really transform these stories, these limiting beliefs that you may have that are really holding you back, and to change them into something that can really help you, and not only help you in that particular part of your life where the triggered event took place, but also be able to transform it in all parts of your life. And if you want to learn more about that, you can check out the oneupeffect.com. But I want to really wrap this up and share with you that fear is something that is ultimately going to come up pretty often. And one of the best things that I've learned from life was told to me by someone else, where they told me that fear always exists, but the more you spend your time with it and you get to know where it comes from, all its intricacies, why it exists, it doesn't stay around as long. And ultimately that helps you overcome it, not have it be an influence on how you can live a better, happier, successful, long-lasting life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment below. Let me know what you think about this cycle of triggered events that happen to us all the time. How do you process things, and where do you see your fear show up the most? If you like this video, like it, please subscribe and hit that bell, get notified when we put out videos, which happen almost every single day. And of course, if you think this video is cool, share with someone else who might think this is cool too. Get them in on the conversation. And as always, if you want to learn more about things like this, happiness, success, playing the game of life, and the One Up Effect, you can go to theoneupeffect.com. Once again, this is Thomas Edwards, inviting you to make life a game that you can win and have fun playing. Until next time, I'll see you around.